Magandang umaga, gising na pamilya at Pilipinas. Are you still making excuses? Before the quarantine, every single one of us, myself included, would say things like, if I just had more time, I would be able to accomplish this or that. Are we still making excuses? I know for me, there are definitely some excuses that I'm still making for different areas of my life. We gotta stop making excuses. Do you understand that God made you unique to everyone around you? There are over 7 billion people on this planet, and there's no one that is the same as you. Some that may look similar to you, may act similar to you, but no one is the same as you. We are all made individually. And a lot of us don't understand that God has a plan for our lives. And that is the source to procrastination and why we waste time. Before the quarantine, we were saying to ourselves, if I had more time, I'd do it. Now the quarantine's happened, we're saying, I just want to enjoy my time. We got to stop making excuses, because how far will it go? Well, the answer is it can go pretty far. Let's look at a scripture in John chapter 5. In John chapter 5, Jesus comes to a pool where invalids and people that were blind and had different ailments would stay. And it was said that an angel would come every so often and stir the waters, and they would go down, and if they dipped themselves in the water, they would be healed. And it says in verse 5, one who had been there as an invalid for 38 years. 38 years. Many of you that are watching this right now probably aren't even 38 years old yet. For 38 years, this man had been an invalid laying around this pool. In verse 6, it says, when Jesus saw him lying there and he learned that he had been in this condition for a long time, he asked him, do you want to get well? We all have things in our lives that we want to accomplish, but the more time goes on, the question has to be asked, do you really even want to accomplish that? Maybe you watched the first daily dose, and now we're on the 20th plus daily dose, and you still haven't made changes. The real question has to be asked, do you really want to change? The answer is, I know you do, but you got to do something about it. Or in any area of our lives that it may matter. Do we really want to change? That's where we've got to start. It says in verse 7, Sir, the invalid replied, I have no one to help me into the pool when the water stirred. While I'm trying to get in, someone else goes down ahead of me. This guy was full of excuses. And oftentimes when we don't see the results that we want in our lives, we become an expert at making excuses instead of just getting it done, making the changes and accomplishing the task that we should. In verse 8, it says, Then Jesus said to him, Get up. Get up. Stop making excuses. Get up. Pick up your mat and walk. At once, the man was cured. He picked up his mat and walked. Jesus challenged him. Stop making excuses. Just get up and walk. But then as we go on in the story in verse 14, it says, Later Jesus found him in the temple and said to him, See, you're well again. Stop sinning. Something worse may happen to you. The root issue of this man's being an invalid for 38 years was sin. And truth be told, it's sin that holds all of us back. I think that it's great when there are videos that motivate us and help us. And I'm here to tell you that if you set your mind to something, anything, you absolutely can accomplish it. The question is, are you willing to put in the time to accomplish it? You've got to be driven by God and God alone. An incredible example is a man named Chris Garner. If you haven't seen already, you have to watch the movie The Pursuit of Happiness. And The Pursuit of Happiness is about a man, it's a true story, named Chris Garner, who, though he had a failing marriage, was a failing salesman, he persisted, he persevered. And there's a movie about him, played by Will Smith and his son, and he's famous for telling his son, don't let someone tell you when you can't do something. And all throughout the story, even though they're sleeping in a bathroom homeless, he said, son, don't let someone tell you you can't do something. And that's my challenge for you today. Don't let the world tell you you can or cannot do something. Stop making excuses. Stop making excuses in your schooling, in your career, in your family, in your own life. Stop making excuses. But in order to do that, you've got to be right with God. You've got to make sure that your soul is taken care of so that your heart and your mind can operate correctly. And so I want to encourage you, stop making excuses in your relationship with God. Get right with God. Make the changes you know you need to. And God will give you a pursuit of true happiness, which is a relationship with Him. Have a great day. The Black Plague, whatever happens, get a promotion, you get fired. In all circumstances, conduct yourselves in a manner worthy of the gospel. Hey everyone, I hope you're enjoying the Daily Dose. If you haven't already, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I want to ask you a favor. If you're interested at all in a personal Bible study, message me. If you want to come to a virtual Bible discussion, I can help you find one in an area near you. If you have any prayer requests, please message me. If you're interested in any of those things, I would love to help you strengthen your relationship with God.